My stepsister and I fought constantly as kids. Now she wants to reconcile.
Sounds fishy to me.
My mom passed away when I was 6. Oh. And my dad remarried when I was 9. The woman he married had a daughter 1 year younger than me, so she was 8. By the way, this comes from One Last Time 1713 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So at first, I loved having a new mom. She wasn't the best and will never replace my real mom, but I appreciate her trying to be there for me, and I am pretty close with her and my dad. At first, I loved having a sister, and we got along great. I loved having a playmate during vacations and always having a play or two. The problems really started to amp up when I was 13 and she was 12. It seemed like no matter what I did went unpunished in her eyes, and she had to mock me constantly. Being a hot-headed 13-year-old usually meant I'd retaliate, and we would have those long screaming matches till either of our parents told us to knock it off, or they would send up to different parts of the house to cool off. I also started playing football in high school, and my problem was that I was constantly getting injured. In 8 years, 11 to 18, I broke my arm, pinky, wrist, got 2 concussions, tore my ACL, sprained my MCL, and dislocated my shoulder. Maybe that's a sign that you should stop playing football.
Yeah, usually people stop after an ACL.
Dang. On top of all that, I was kind of chubby. I don't want to say I was fat. I was about 180 to 210 from the ages of 14 to 18 at 6'2". Okay, but you were probably like all like,
yeah,
like you're a football player.
Yeah, I'm 6'1" and 180.
Yeah, so it's like he's probably like all like muscle.
Yeah.
She used to make fun of me for my injuries and my weight, which were very touchy subjects for me. Her favorite insult was, "You fat cripple loser."
She could have been way more clever, just saying.
That's just mean.
Yeah, that's mean. She could have been way funnier too.
Yeah, that was just like, bam, 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 ouch. Or maybe if you lost some weight, you wouldn't get injured so often. Back then, those insults really pissed me off, but I kept trying to be the older brother and just told her to shut up, fight back, or storm off. She also loved to embarrass me when friends were over by bringing up dumb stuff I did when I was like 9 or 10. My friends are great people, but we tease each other a lot and would usually remember anything embarrassing we did and bring it up later. So whatever she said to them would always get back. I did talk with her if she could just shut up when I have my friends over, and she basically told me to F off and that it's her house too. At this point in my life, 16 years old, I am super pissed at how crappy she's treated me over the years.
She's just being a sister.
A bad one.
You didn't do this.
No. I know I caused some and usually fought back when she got snippy and bratty at me, but to me, she started more fights than I did. I did try to talk to my dad and stepmom about the way me and her treat each other, and they basically said it's normal sibling rivalry. I don't think that's a normal sibling rivalry. It goes beyond.
Me and my brother didn't really have a relationship until I started driving, and we spent more time together.
Yeah. Her antics got a lot worse, and her words got more and more mean-filled and vile, which meant I would retaliate with just as mean and vile-filled insults. I will not sit here and say I wasn't just as mean to her as she was to me. I used to bully her relentlessly for these hair buns she would wear from 13 to 14. If you want a picture, just look up the buns Leia wore from Star Wars. I also told her plenty of times that I hate her and don't consider her family. I have apologized so much for those too, because I feel bad. Even though she hasn't apologized, I know she feels bad too. I bet there were some other moments, but they didn't happen to me, so I probably forgot them. I moved out when I was 18 without ever sending her a text message goodbye or even telling her I was moving out. The past 5 years of unpleasantness between us made me happy that I didn't have to see her. A year later, she moved out, and I still resented her for how we treated each other.
I just remembered a very sad, tragic tale.
Oh, what is it?
I remember when a young Samuel Donner, he wanted to join the cool kids, but instead of labeling you as one of the cool kids,
they called me Salad Boy because I ate nothing but salads and could not trade my lunch for a lunch.
Cheese
Really
dripping,
anything.
You know what community will always welcome you with open arms, Sam?
And make you feel like a cool kid?
The great people who have OK Storytime memberships.
Oh, I heard that's 60 plus hours of members only content Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
You heard right, Sam, and it's only $5 a month.
So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join. Now back to the story.
Chomp, chomp.
We go almost 2 years without speaking, other than on holidays, and that's really only dry stuff, nothing big. I am now 21 and she's 20, And I got a text the other night asking why we aren't close like we were when we were kids. I basically said I don't care to get along with you or get close because of how we treated each other as kids. She told me to grow up.
Grow up, be close with me now.
She's like, why aren't you close to me? And he's like, well, we weren't close. And she's like, grow up.
Come on.
Just do it. And not even an hour later, I get a call from my dad asking why I have so much hate for my sister, in quotes, years since we have lived together. I told him I'll be cordial and I won't cut her out of my life, but I don't need or want to be close with her. How do I go about telling her that I don't want us to be close yet until we both want to be close, but leaving the door open for her not to resent me and we can still love each other? Edit. I would like to point out that I was just as mean to my stepsister. I don't have examples because it's been 5 years and didn't stick with me like hers did, but our fighting growing up did go both ways. Edit 2. Some people have said that I shouldn't cut her out of my life, and I agree with that. I love her and want to be there for her, but I don't like her enough to be close with her. And edit 3. I added more to the story of how I was crappy to her too. And there is an editor's note. OP was voted not the a-hole, and there are some relevant comments and an update. But before we get into that, what do you think OP should do?
He's right. They should not
can't
pursue a
force
healthy relationship until he's ready for it, because she may be, but she's still a child and she wants something out of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. No, that is a good question. Yeah, maybe she's like trying to get something out of this. I do think that it's going to hurt your relationship more in the long run if you force it when you're not ready.
Yeah.
But I think it seems like you both, I mean, she wants it now, but like you down the line seem to want it. So you both want it eventually. Maybe just like slowly. And it doesn't have to happen as fast. Like maybe it's just like talking to each other at holidays first, like having actual conversations.
Yeah.
But there are some relevant comments. OP, when told maybe his sister matured and changed. Honestly, OP says, I do want a relationship at some point with her, but some insults are a bit too fresh and could still hurt. I also want to explore life without being bogged down with a friendship I don't want with a person I wouldn't like. In due time, I would like there to be a close bond between us, just not yet. And don't get me wrong, I love her, and if she needed me, I'd be there in a second. But I don't want to really have that let's go get drinks and be buddies type of relationship at this point. I hope she knows that if any dude tried to harass her, I'd be on him in a second. I remembered I knocked the daylights out of a dude who slapped her butt when we were at the beach. So it's like, only I could be mean to you. If she ever needed to talk to me about advice, of course I'd be there for her. Just don't think I want that super close relationship yet. And I would love a super close relationship with you guys where you watch episodes of stories like this on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or any of your podcast apps. Just search up OK Storytime.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit more to this story. There's an update. But any final thoughts to finish us off?
He's not ready yet. And I appreciate his emotional maturity to admit that.
I agree, but there is an update. After our text convo that led to my dad calling me asking what's wrong between us, I texted her about a meetup at my place. This was the first time we actually met/hung out outside of a family gathering. Before she came over, that realization gave me a new look on our relationship. The whole sit down went well. We actually got along and there wasn't any name calling or anything mean. We talked about how we treated each other, and this was the first time I've ever heard her apologize for how she treated me growing up, and I did the same. We talked about how the text convo went, and I came to the conclusion that I still had the old image of how she was when I last saw her at 17, and was using that to picture her now. She still kind of acts the same, kind of moody, but can hold it in so much better now, but it's a lot better. We talked it out and spent about half the day together just hanging out, and I'll admit I enjoyed it. I don't think we'll ever be super duper close, but it's a step in the right direction, and there isn't a wall of tension between us anymore. Thank you all for the advice and comments. It really came in handy, and I appreciate it.
All right.
And there are some final comments. Deleted says, I'm really envious, but extremely proud of you. Up until now, I still can't make things right between my big sis and me, but that's okay. Maybe we just need to mature and talk it out. Opie says, give her a shot. Invite her to a coffee meetup. That's what we did. And it really helped. Make sure it's public so things can't escalate to an actual screaming match. And that is the end of that story. But it seems like OP's got on the path to working it out.
Very amicable.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to figure it out. And I appreciate that. But that is the end of that story.